Welcome to Who Is, the channel where we uncover the raw, unfiltered stories behind the world's most iconic, mysterious, and misunderstood figures. Today, we dive deep into the kaleidoscopic life of a woman who redefined music, fashion, fame, and pain. She's not just a pop icon. She's a movement, a message, a monster mother to millions. This is the untold story of Lady Gaga. Buckle up. You've never heard it like this. Lady Gaga was not born in a meat dress, nor did she emerge from an egg on a red carpet. She was born Stefani Joanne Angelina Germanotta on March 28, 1986, in New York City, into a world that would not yet recognize her name. But the world would learn it, over and over again. It would be whispered in fashion houses, shouted at rallies, screamed in stadiums, and eventually echoed through hospital walls and rehab centers, through charity galas and political protests. Gaga was not just going to be a singer, she was going to be a revolution disguised as one. From the very beginning, Stefani stood out. Raised on the Upper West Side of Manhattan by an Italian-American family, she was classically trained in piano from the age of 4. Her parents, Cynthia and Joseph Germanotta, ran a tight ship. Joseph was a tech entrepreneur, a man of structure. Her mother, a woman of strength and quiet poise. But the fire inside their daughter was already too big to contain. By age 11, she was performing at open mics. By age 14, sneaking into nightclubs to play. By 17, she gained early admission to NYU's Tisch School of the Arts. But it wouldn't last. Gaga dropped out at 19 to pursue music full-time. That was the first step toward war. With the industry, with her identity, and eventually, with herself. The early days weren't glitter and applause. They were dirty bars, heartbreak, and being told no in every key. She was writing songs for other people before she could find someone to believe in her own voice. But then came Akon. He heard her. He understood. He signed her to his label under Interscope, and in 2008, the world was introduced to the name Lady Gaga through The Fame, a debut album that would sell over 18 million copies. The single Just Dance was a euphoric anthem for a generation trying to forget the 2008 recession. But beneath the gloss was an artist with razor-sharp control. Gaga wasn't here just to entertain, she was here to provoke. Then came Poker Face, Paparazzi, Love Game. Her fame grew exponentially, but so did the whispers. Who was she really? Was she just another pop star in disguise? And what exactly was she hiding? By 2009, Gaga was no longer just charting. She was conquering. Her performances grew stranger, darker. She would arrive on stage in blood. She'd wear masks, veils, armor. She wasn't singing, she was constructing an identity, brick by controversial brick. Then came the VMA's performance of Paparazzi, where she died in a pool of blood. Critics were confused. Fans were obsessed. The media didn't know how to define her, so she defined herself. Thoughtful. "I'm not interested in people knowing what I wear to the grocery store," she once said. Determined. "I'm interested in pushing boundaries." But pushing boundaries came with a cost. Behind the wigs and couture, Gaga was battling trauma. She had been sexually assaulted at the age of 19 by someone in the music industry. She would reveal this years later, long after her fame had been cemented, because even monsters get scared. She carried PTSD into her performances, into her relationships, into her philanthropy. It would shape her artistry in invisible ways. In 2010, she released The Fame Monster, an album that would give us Bad Romance, a track that wasn't just a hit, it was a cultural reset. The video, with its surreal horror visuals and cyborg choreography, became one of the most watched videos of all time. Gaga wasn't just in the zeitgeist, she was the zeitgeist. Then came Born This Way in 2011, her most explicitly political and personal work to date. It was a battle cry for the LGBTQ+ community, for outsiders, for misfits. Passionate. "Don't be a drag, just be a queen" was not just a lyric, it was a manifesto. She became a symbol not just of fame, but of identity, of pride, of defiance. She created the Born This Way Foundation to promote mental health and youth empowerment. Fame was no longer enough. She wanted change. But fame takes, and it took from her. Behind the scenes, Gaga was suffering from chronic pain due to fibromyalgia. Her body was breaking even as her image remained unshakable. In 2013, she released Art Pop, a commercial disappointment by her standards and a psychological breaking point. Critics panned it, sales dipped, rumors spread, questioning, was Gaga over? But that's not how revolutions end. In 2016, she pivoted. Joanne was her most stripped-down album. Named after her aunt who died at 19 from lupus, it was a tribute to family, to grief, and to resilience. No more costumes, no more distractions, just Gaga and her voice. It was the beginning of a second act few expected, and even fewer understood. Then came the Super Bowl, February 5, 2017. Gaga leapt off the roof of Houston's NRG Stadium in a dazzling, death-defying halftime show that reminded the world Gaga was not over. And then came A Star Is Born in 2018. Co-starring and directed by Bradley Cooper, it wasn't just a film, it was Gaga's rebirth. Her performance as Ally Maine was raw, brutal, magnetic. The soundtrack's lead single, Shallow, won an Academy Award. And there she stood on stage at the Oscars, tears in her eyes, finally holding the gold she had chased in so many forms. But it didn't feel like the end, it felt like the beginning. Lady Gaga is not one woman. She is a million identities layered over trauma, talent, and tenacity. She is Stefani, the Catholic schoolgirl from Manhattan. She is Gaga, the fame monster. She is Ally Maine, the wounded singer. She is the activist, the actress, the chameleon. She is pain and performance. She is art and artifice. But most importantly, she is still here. In 2020, she released Chromatica, an electro-pop opera of sadness disguised as dance music. She spoke openly about her mental health, about isolation, about healing. She gave voice to what so many were too afraid to say. She told the truth, and the truth is messy. It bleeds, but it also dances. In recent years, she has become quieter, more selective with her appearances. She performed at the 2021 presidential inauguration, wearing a dove-shaped brooch and singing the national anthem with the gravity of a stateswoman. She collaborated with Tony Bennett, showing her range and humanity by caring for the jazz legend as he battled Alzheimer's. Her Vegas residency became a theatrical playground where Gaga could merge all her selves into one surreal narrative. But still, the question lingers. Who is Lady Gaga? She is not a phase, not a gimmick, not a headline. She is a testament to transformation. She is what happens when pain meets art, when identity becomes armor, when fame becomes freedom. She's the scream in your silence, the beat in your heartbreak, the fire in your survival. She is Lady Gaga. And now, you know. If you made it this far, you now know the truth behind the name Lady Gaga. But her story is just one of many. At Who Is, we go beyond the headlines to uncover the real people behind the fame, the power, and the myth. So if you love deep, untold stories like this one, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell, and join us for the next journey into the unknown, because the next person we uncover might just change everything you thought you knew. Thanks for watching. This is Who Is.